Testing with Integrity. I'm Lisa Allegas, and this is Newsmakers. In this edition, we learn all about the Missouri Southern State University Testing Services Office. It has a new director. We'll meet him along with department leaders about the benefit of national testing offered right here. We begin our conversation with a 6-year veteran of MSSU staff serving in financial aid, admissions, student services, the new director of testing services, Jonathan Case. Congratulations on your post and welcome to Newsmakers.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about the purpose of a testing office. Why is it necessary to even have this located on campus?
We use the testing service not just for students, but for the community as a whole. So we are an opportunity for both our students, the staff, faculty, but as well as the community to complete those testing exams for things like certifications, graduation requirements, and class placements.
And you're part of this National College Testing Association, and it's a certified testing office. So what does that actually mean, and what does that signify? How important is it for the integrity of testing to be certified?
Sure. It's very important. It puts us on a national spotlight. It shows colleges and universities nationwide that we are an opportunity and a location for their students to come and take exams. It shows the local testing companies that they can send their test clients to us and they will be tested to the highest degree. And it's really just an excellent opportunity for everyone involved to know they are going to get the best service possible.
So that would mean there's probably some strict rules for test takers. Give us an idea of what that might include.
Of course, the number one is no cell phones. Obviously, all testers must empty out their pockets and all personal items, place them in a locker before going into the back. It's a very strict rule. There's no leniency on that, and it's something that we adhere to very strictly.
Wow. On some of these tests that you give students, it helps place them in classes. So explain what those placement tests are all about and maybe what subjects they cover.
Absolutely. So there are a couple different options. There are AccuPlacer tests, which students can take for things like math, English, and history. That will allow them to, say, bypass a remedial course and get placed in there. They can also take the remedial ACT. If they did not take the ACT in high school, they can take that for placement. They can also take what's called a CLEP exam, which gives them college credit for a course without actually having to take the course. So there's a lot of opportunities there.
So give us an idea of a CLEP exam. Maybe that somebody studied on a higher level in high school and they've already mastered the material. Is that the general gist?
Absolutely, and that could be anything from your basic English composition courses to micro or macroeconomics, history courses, math courses, Spanish. There are over 40 different courses that you can take to receive college credit through a CLEP exam.
Wow. Talk to us about, there's a test called Right Placer. What is that about?
The Right Placer is our new English placement exam. We partnered with the English department. They previously were doing the AccuPlacer exam, but felt that there was a change needed. So within AccuPlacer is the new writing exam, and that is how they now use for their placement is through that program.
Are there certain tests that might help someone who may be a non-English speaker or English as a second language? And do you have testing that helps place them in the right classes?
There are some. Typically, you would see that through the remedial ACT. Our international students will oftentimes take the remedial ACT as part of their onboarding process, and that will help determine what English math courses that they need to be placed into from the get-go.
Okay, so let's talk about proctoring. We hear about proctor tests. What is a proctor? What are their responsibilities? And why are those kind of tests necessary?
Sure. A proctor is essentially a professional that has basically sworn to uphold the honesty and integrity of an exam. They are there to make sure that a tester takes the exam without cheating, without access to anything that they're not supposed to have. And basically, they are our eyes and ears outside of the university.
So you mentioned to me when we were discussing before this that sometimes professors will actually have their students come take tests at the testing center, even though they could maybe give in the classroom. So why would they do that? Why not just give the test in a classroom?
A lot of times we see that after someone has possibly been absent from a course. Maybe they were sick, maybe they had a family emergency and they weren't able to take the exam the day of. We will partner with those classes to make sure that the student can come in, take the exam in a safe environment, in a private environment with honesty, so that the professor and the student can get the best results possible. You
mentioned you have like a math professor who regularly uses the testing center. What are the benefits of having that service for a specific class?
Absolutely. He typically will have a set day and time for his students to come and take the exam, but his exam is for an online course. And so a lot of those online students can't show up to campus on that day and time. So we offer that flexibility of another day, another time that they can come take that exam and still get the results that they need as if they were taking them in the classroom at the exact same time.
Cool. So other tests are based on degree requirements. Are those done just before graduation, or can they be done at different times during a student's career?
It can vary. There are some exams such as the TEAS exam or the HESI exam, typically for our health science professions. Those are usually taken as a placement exam to get into the program. However, there are tests, specifically normally the Praxis, which is for education classes. Those are usually taken towards the end of someone's degree as part of a graduation requirement or a certification.
So some of these exams have national significance. You being a certified testing center, and you serve the community in general. How often are tests scheduled for those who might not be an MSSU student?
Daily. We
Wow.
actually have a significant amount of tests for the community every single day, everywhere from 9 up until 4 o'clock.
Wow. So that's quite a variety of tests. You offer maybe even a dozen or more. Talk about some of those that might be more prevalently used by the community.
Sure. A big one is a company called Pearson VUE. They take care of anything from agriculture exams to insurance exams, bail bonds, education exams, you name it, doctor's exams, EMT. They offer a very wide variety, and they are probably our largest client outside of the university.
Wow. All right. Tell me, what is the HiSET?
HiSET is a high school equivalency test. It's an alternative to the GED. Both the GED and the HiSET can get you your high school diploma, but it's, which one do you want to do? Do you want to take the 4 tests through the GED, or do you want to take the 5 tests through the HiSET? Both get you your high school diploma. It just comes down to personal preference.
Okay. There's something called a Certiport. What is that?
Certiport we typically use them for Excel certifications here through the university. We have several professors that, as part of their degree or as part of the class and the requirement, they are to get certified in Excel, and that's where the Certiport comes in.
How can it be helpful to have these tests under a student's belt and to be able to even be put on their resume?
Oh, it's very, very important. To be able to graduate and say that you are certified in X, Y, and Z goes a long way on a resume. It goes a long way to help prepare someone for the professional setting.
Yeah. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with educators who utilize the Praxis, a test that can make or break becoming a teacher. What is the atmosphere like? I mean, it can be pressuresome to take these tests. So what do you do to kind of make it a comfortable experience for these students and even the community?
Test anxiety is a very real thing. And so one of the things that we pride ourselves on is a welcoming and inviting, but also professional setting. When you walk into our testing center, you will be greeted with a smile, probably a couple of jokes. We try to ease that tension as much as we can. Once you go back into the testing room, there are white noise machines to prevent any outside distractions. We offer earplugs and noise canceling headphones for all students, as well as scratch paper and pencils. So we really try to make it as inviting and as comfortable as possible, so that the last thing you have to worry about is the test itself, because you're already stressed enough.
Yeah. So it's also a place where if someone needed an accommodation for taking a test, you would provide that. So explain to us what that means. What is an accommodation and what kind are offered?
An accommodation is basically anytime somebody needs things like additional time, if they need additional resources, additional breaks, that sort of thing, they can work with the testing company to set that up in advance, and we can provide them with that additional time. Things like a professional reader, a private room. It is basically there to help them get the best results possible and work around their accommodating needs.
So, for example, say someone might be dyslexic. Would that be someone who might get an accommodation?
Absolutely. They would just work with the testing company, make sure all those documentations are on file, and then the testing company would reach out to us, make sure that they had either a private room or extra time on their exam. We would grant that, and then when they come to take the exam, everything would be in place.
Do all of these tests require certain fees, and do they vary? What is that like?
Most tests do require a fee. Those can vary anywhere from $25 up to $95, depending on the test. It also depends on the length of the exam. Most of the outside exams, you're going to pay for that through the testing company. However, if you're taking an MSSU exam of some sort, there may be a fee that you would just pay through our bursar's office.
Okay. And you say you take walk-ins, but you do recommend appointments. Explain why.
Absolutely. We do take walk-ins. However, if we are full and busy, we may not be able to accommodate a walk-in. So our best recommendation is to contact us ahead of time. Simply let us know what day and time you want to take your exam and what exam that is. We'll get you on our calendar, and when you come in, you'll be able to sit down and get started.
Important, because are some of these tests things that might qualify someone for working at a job site?
Absolutely. Anything from a work keys exam to one of those certification exams. Many of our tests, people have to take it for their degree and for their career. So there's a lot riding on some of these exams.
I know nursing is one that has maybe multiple tests. How many times can someone take certain tests? And are there rules about, oh, you've taken it, you have to wait?
Every test is a little bit different. Some tests you can take as many times as you absolutely need to. We've had people take a test up to 7 or 8 times, and they can take it day after day. Other exams, you can only take it 2 or 3 times, and you have to wait maybe 30 to 45 days. So it's always important to know what the rules are before you get started.
All right. Well, Jonathan, tell us how people get the schedule for your office hours.
Sure. The easiest way is to simply contact us. You can call us directly at 417-625-9577. You can email us at testingservices@mssu.edu, or you can always go to our website, which is just mssu.edu, and do a quick search for testing services.
All right. Great information. Welcome aboard, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Lisa.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, the role of the praxis test for teaching education majors.
What does a culture of excellence look like? It looks like her, him, and them. It's where future educators, innovators, lifesavers, and global leaders call their home. It's a place where immersive learning environments can help empower students to command a future in their field. Come experience excellence at Missouri Southern State University.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are learning about the impact of the Testing Services Office. There are more than 3.9 million teachers across the United States, according to Pew Research in 2023, and teachers must be certified, and that is determined by a test. Joining our conversation now is the Director of Clinical Field, Certification Officer, Transfer Coordinator, and Master Instructor, Jenny Wieselmeyer, and Teacher Education student Evelyn Kane-Smith. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you joining us on Newsmakers.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Lots of titles, Jenny. Tell us about it. The big test that we always hear about when it comes to teachers is the praxis.
Exactly.
So what does it actually measure? Tell us what the praxis stands for, what it means.
So the praxis is a test given by ETS, and it is a test, certification test that in the state of Missouri, all teacher ed majors have to pass in order to be certified. And in our program, they also have to pass it in order to graduate from our program, since it is a certification requirement as well. So the praxis tests the students' content knowledge in regards to, depending on what they're graduating with. So for example, if it's a middle school math student, then they would take the middle school praxis test for math, grade levels 5-9. If they're elementary, like Evelyn here, they actually have 4 subtests they have to take. So their praxis is broken up into 4 areas: math, science, social studies, and reading. Plus, here at Missouri Southern, we do have all of our elementary ed majors get certification areas, not just in elementary education, but also a pathway, we call it. Makes them more marketable, for one, and it just adds to their degree and certification area, and it's all tied up into one degree, which is nice for them. So we have elementary with early childhood, elementary with SPED, and elementary with English language learners.
SPED being
Special education, yes, sorry about that. And so Evelyn, of course, is elementary with early childhood. So then besides the 4 subtest praxis that she has to take, she also has to take the early childhood praxis test as well. So our elementary ed majors take 5 praxis
Wow.
tests.
Okay. So Evelyn, talk to us about that 5 tests. All in one day, or did you divide them up?
So I chose to divide them all up. You
Okay.
can take them all together, but I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of time to study in between each one.
What is that like? Is it high pressure? I mean, do you get time to prepare them?
Oh,
for each one?
absolutely. Yeah, so there's plenty of time to prepare them based on when you choose to take those tests. They do seem pretty high stress for a moment there. I mean, it's what makes our certification. So there's a lot of pressure, but because there's so much support at MSSU, especially from our professors as a whole, it makes the whole process a lot easier.
So it can be stressful. What are some techniques for going in there? And is it important to be calm when you take a test like this?
Oh, absolutely. The more calm you are, the better it is for you. So I would just definitely take some time to practice those practice tests that they have out there for you. And then just past that, just the regular things. Make sure you're sleeping enough. Make sure you're eating enough water. Pairing up with buddies to study together. And overall, just make sure that you have a community around you.
So what happens if you don't pass one of these? Can you take it more than once? Do you have to wait a certain period?
Yes, they do have to wait 30 days to retake the test, and they do have to retake them if they do not pass them. Now in the state of Missouri, if they don't pass it on their second attempt, they do get a third attempt free. That since I am the certification officer, I would request that through the state to get a new voucher for them. And I will also say, as far as study tips, our courses look at the objectives on those tests all the time, whether it's in our department or cross campus. So our campus partners are amazing. Shout out to our campus partners because they do look over our objectives as well and in all the fields. And they make sure that the courses that our students have to take that are approved through the matrices through DESE, that those courses meet all those objectives. But also once a month, I host test taking strategies as well. And that's always from 4 to 5. That way any students who happen to be student teaching, if they haven't passed it yet, or even if we have students that are in our online elementary, so they're the para to teacher program, they can come after school. So it's 4 to 5 once a month. And I teach Professor V's test taking strategies. That's pretty awesome. They're the stoplight methods. And so those are really work out well. And we do as much as we can, in addition to our test-taking services here on campus, working really well with our students and our degree program as well. So for example, one of my things that I talk about, like with our test-taking strategies, is when they are studying to chew minty gum. It's just a known fact. Data shows that if you chew gum when you are stressed in these high-stakes tests, that it helps alleviate some stress levels, and the mint also. So I had reached out to our new director about that and asked if, is this still something that you'll utilize and let our students do, because this is something I'm telling them that I want them to do, as well as having either paper or a whiteboard. And our test-taking services are amazing with our students. They help just really lower that test-taking area stress, and they do allow chewing gum. So anyone out there, chewing gum is very helpful.
Is okay.
So yes.
Well, so talk about, you mentioned some of these tests have to be taken before they graduate, correct? So is there a timeline for getting those done? And can it be more stressful when you're not like totally a senior? I mean, what years do you have to take these tests?
Right. So our content, so anyone who's middle school, secondary, which would be 9-12, or our K-12, so our PEs, art, music majors, they typically take theirs the semester before they student teach. So that semester is when they do take it, and they do have to have it attempted, not passed, before they student teach. Before they graduate officially, they have to have it passed. Our elementary ed majors are a little different since they have so many to take. We have them start taking them during their junior block semester. They get notified that, hey, you have all these tests to take. We want you to take the math and social studies one first. Okay. So they know that as in their junior block, they start hearing about the praxis, and then we, of course, have all these test-taking strategies, professional development, we call it, so that they can come to, and then they start signing up for those ASAP. Then during their Lit Block 1 and 2, our elementary ed majors have a Lit Block 1 semester and Lit Block 2 semester. We have them take their science during those semesters, and then the semester right before student teaching, the end of their Lit Block 2, they take their reading and then their pathway test, because by that time they have all those courses out of the way.
And it's nice that they take those tests before they maybe do some student teaching. Do you feel like it helps prepare you or say, hey, I know what I'm talking about when I go to student teaching?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I paired my praxis with what classes I was taking at that time, and more so at the end of those classes, so I had the most amount of knowledge for that content. So.
And does it give you a boost of confidence to know, hey, I've passed that praxis before you go out into the field?
Absolutely. And then it's also a joy or a bonus to see that content that you tested on and that you've been learning on be used out there in the field.
So she mentioned the testing center. How important is it to have that testing center available? I mean, these are tests that give you certifications, so there are rules about taking them, correct?
Absolutely. And our students, if they have any questions at all, I always refer them to the testing services. Sometimes when they go and order their tests, and then at that point they get to reserve their date for the test too, sometimes it might not show up any dates, and if it doesn't, they go straight to the test taking services, which is amazing because they take care of everything. If maybe on ETS's side, which is the Praxis test company, if on their side they haven't opened up those testing dates, then our test taking services take care of all of that for our students and in our department, which is amazing. They are really a great partner to have on campus.
And they can't be taken in a classroom. They do have to be sort of monitored.
Right. Yes.
All right. So what did they do that was helpful for you, Evelyn? Was it comfortable in there? Did you feel confident going in?
Yeah, so as soon as you walk in, the people that are in there, they're super, super friendly, they're super welcoming, and just gives you a sense of ease going into the tests. And then once you're in there, it is a pretty comfortable space. You have the dividers between every one of the desks, so you have that privacy. It's just you and the test. They provide you with the 2 pieces of paper, a calculator if you need it, really just anything that you need support-wise or physically is going to be provided by the test center.
Excellent. Well, good luck on your continued testing. Thank you for sharing all this great information.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, time for another break, and when we return, how the testing center is utilized by those in the dental hygiene program.
Lions Forward is more than a campaign. It's our commitment to the future. Through private giving, we're expanding educational opportunities in Joplin and the 4-state area, strengthening programs, and investing in our students. Many MSSU graduates choose to stay in our region, becoming the healthcare professionals, educators, and business leaders who keep our community strong.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are taking a look at what is offered at the MSSU Testing Services Center, which is a certified testing center of the National College Testing Association. Now joining our conversation is Dental Hygiene Department Chair Jill Pyle. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We've heard about a number of tests offered at the MSSU Testing Services office. For dental hygiene, what kind of testing is required to get into the program?
So we request that our students take the TEAS exam, which they can take here at Missouri Southern. What it does is it just looks at science readiness, and it also assesses readiness for English composition, math, and science mostly.
So when would be the best time for a student to take that?
So we recommend that they take that a little bit closer to applying to the program. After they've had maybe just their basic biology, anatomy and physiology, chemistry classes, out of the way so that they would have a better chance to score a little bit better.
So not
on
necessarily
that.
straight from high school. They're going to be having a year or two of college under their belt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then is this a fee-based test as well?
Yes, so it's $85 for Missouri Southern students to take it. And then we do have a lot of students that transfer here and are not Missouri Southern students. And so they can come and take it, and the cost is $95 for those students. And then they're able to take that as many times as they want if they want to improve their score.
That was my next question. What happens if you fail?
Yeah, and because they have to get a 50, which would be scoring at a basic level. And so if they want to increase their chances of being able to get into the program, they can retake it. And they just have to pay the fee again.
So higher scores give you a better chance to get into the program?
It's a better score, yeah.
And do you accept a limited number of people into the dental hygiene program?
Yeah, so we take 30, and we typically have about 75 that apply to the program. So,
wow.
Yeah, a better testing score on that does increase their chances.
Is there any kind of preparation for this test?
Yeah, they do have on, when they sign up for the test, there is some study packets that you can get and read through to help.
So, and how regularly do you send students to the testing center?
Well, typically all the applicants, they know they have to take that test. So we send them the number over to the testing center, and then they call and set up.
And why is it useful to have this service on campus?
Just that it's local, and it's not where somebody has to travel very far for our students at Missouri Southern. And it's proctored.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
So now here you're hoping that they can bring one more exam here, because when they want to graduate your program, their boards are typically done elsewhere other than clinicals are done here on campus.
We do our clinical boards here at Missouri Southern, but at the current time, they have to take their national boards at other testing centers. So hopefully we can look at that and maybe encourage that to be done here at Missouri Southern as
Jill's wish list.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for students for being ready on a test day for something like this?
I think that just like we were talking earlier, just relaxation as much as possible, a good night's rest, before. I like the headphones that Jonathan was talking about, just anything. I like that the Missouri Southerns, it's welcoming, and they're very pleasant, and I think they try to ease their nerves a little bit, so.
All right, well, thank you for all the information.
Of course.
Thank you for utilizing the Test Services Office.
Thank you.
And that wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. If you have a need for a specialized test, check out what's offered at mssu.edu or check in with Jonathan Case at MSSU Testing Services at 417-625-9577. You can also email testingservices@mssu.edu. I'm Lisa Allegas. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching Newsmakers.